Hello and welcome back. It is 12:30 on a Friday, which means it's time for MPTF Influencers with Courteney Bailey. Today we've got a very special guest. Let's head over to Zoom and see who Courteney has with her today.
Thank you so much, Jen. My guest today, as Jen mentioned, we have a very, very special person here. I'm so honored to have this platform of organized chaos, and he does not need any introduction, but I'm going to give him one. Jeffrey Katzenberg is the chairman of our board of directors and board of governors. He is an icon in our industry. He is a mentor, a father, a grandfather, and an incredible, incredible partner to MPTF. I read something recently that I want to very quickly read about Jeffrey that is perfect, but a little short-sighted. Jeffrey is recognized for lighting up our screens and opening our hearts through animation and cinema. Totally true. The other part that you don't hear is his incredible heart for philanthropy, which is clearly a culture of your family, Jeffrey. So thank you so much for joining me today. Happy post-Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. So I'm happy to be here with you today.
Fantastic. Our residents are so excited. I would imagine you're following all the rules, and yesterday was a bit different than normal. Am I right?
Sure was. Much smaller and on the back porch, and everybody masks on and at least 6 or 8 feet away. So we were very safe, but it was lovely to be able to see everybody for, an hour or two. So it was nice.
Absolutely. Yeah, I feel more grateful this year than probably we ever have. It's a tough year, but it's like these tough years really show you those silver linings. So let's jump right into it, because today we're going to focus on Jeffrey's role with the MPTF and his philanthropy, and him and Marilyn and his entire family have been fantastic. Jeffrey, I never tire of hearing this story, so I'd like everyone to learn how you got introduced to us, and possibly a little bit about a drive to the campus with the iconic Lou Wasserman. Tell us about that.
Sure. I had known Lou Wasserman back in the 1970s, second half of the 1970s, when I was at Paramount Pictures, and crossed paths with him in work and in various labor relations things that he would engage me in, and there was a very good relationship over the years between Barry Diller and Sid Sheinberg and Lou Wasserman and Michael Eisner, and so there was actually a good kind of bonding there. I left Paramount in 1984 and went over to Disney and ran the Disney Studios, and had been there, about a year or two. And one day my assistant got a phone call from Mr. Wasserman's office on a Monday saying Mr. Wasserman will be seeing Mr. Katzenberg at 2 p.m. at 9 a.m. tomorrow at his office in the Black Tower. And my assistant, Cynthia, who had been with me for years and years, she said to Mr. Wasserman's, geez, I know Jeffrey's got a very full schedule tomorrow, and I don't see a meeting on there with Mr. Wasserman. And his assistant said, yes, but Mr. Wasserman will be seeing Mr. Katzenberg at 9 a.m. tomorrow morning.
Not a question.
Not a question. It was a statement. Mm-hmm. So my secretary came and said, what do you do? And I said, cancel my morning. I'll be there at 9 a.m. on Tuesday morning. And I told Michael Eisner, who got a good laugh out of it, dutifully showed up at 10 minutes of 9 on Tuesday morning.
What were you thinking right before then?
I had no idea.
No idea.
No clue whatsoever. Showed up in a dark suit, white shirt, dark tie, and walked into his office, and his back was to me. He was reading some papers that were on his credenza, and without anything, he just said, "Don't sit down." So obviously eyes in the back of his head. We're going somewhere. And I said, okay. So we turn around and he leads me. We go out of the office, we go down in the elevator, get downstairs, and we get into his car and we start driving out on the 134. And he said, do you know what the motion picture home is? And I said, well, yes, I've heard about it, but he said, have you ever been there before? And I said, no, I actually have not been there before. And he said, well, do you know what the MPTF does? And I said, well, I think it's something that's there for people in retirement from our industry. Well, he said, yes, but it does a great deal more than that. And I am taking you there because I want you to see it. I said, wow, okay, I'm looking forward. So 20-minute drive out there, and we get to the front by the library, and the car pulls up, and we get out of the car, and then we haven't closed the doors to the car, and out of the front door comes Edie Wasserman. That's when I knew I was in a lot of trouble.
Sure did.
That was it. So and Edie says, oh, Jeffrey, thanks so much for coming today.
That's a loaded statement.
Oh, yeah. And the two of them proceeded very proudly to actually give me a tour of the campus. And then we ended up having lunch together about 11:30, so a little early lunch for me, but nevertheless, we were there at 11:30. And that's when the two of them said, you know, we this has been our pride and our joy, and you know, we have you know, just felt that this is one of the most important institutions in our industry, and really has been so important and so rewarding for us over these many years, sort of taking the baton from Jules Stein, and said, you know, we feel like you're the right person for us to pass the baton to. And so I would say a mixture of, you know, just incredible pride and then a bit of terror. And so
The shoulders got a little heavier at the moment.
Saying, well, actually, what does that mean? And so, you know, they went on to explain that, you know, how important fundraising was and awareness, and that, you know, they planned on being around for many more years to come, but that it was time to at least get somebody in training for the time when it came, when, you know, they would no longer be in a position to do what they've done, and that I would represent the next generation. And so that's a good 25, 30 years ago. And I have to say, it has been a privilege to serve the MPTF and to, you know, be there front and center. What has been a great ups, great downs, great struggles, great successes. But, you know, I think there's never been a time in which the MPTF is more important to all of us today and to our industry than it's ever been before. And I consider it and our industry to be my extended family. And another great mentor to me was Kirk Douglas. And as all of you know, Kirk was incredibly passionate and philanthropic about the Motion Picture and Television Fund, with incredible support for it over the years, including Harry's Haven and what hopefully will be our next build and extending the work of Harry's Haven. And Kirk, you know, who I, you know, was fortunate to spend a fair amount of time with over the last decades. I asked him once about philanthropy and how he thought about it and why it seemed to be such an important part of his daily life and his wife and Anne. And he said to me the most incredible words that I think anybody's ever said to me. They certainly were the most impactful. They've lasted the longest. and had the greatest meaning to me. And he said, "You have not learned how to live until you've learned how to give." And I thought, wow, those are powerful, powerful words. And when they are said to you by Spartacus, they tend to mean a great deal. And
they resonate a bit deeper.
Yeah, and so I think the combination of Lou and Edie and learning from them and being trained by them, guided by them, counseled by them, and also the incredible impact that Kirk had on me really sort of bonded me to the MPTF, in which it has been, is, and I think will always be the organization and the charity and the philanthropy that comes first and foremost for me and my family. And the way I think about it is that those of us who have are, with that comes the responsibility to look after those that have not. I think there's something very important about that, very traditional about that, very rewarding about that, and so I have recognized that everything I have, everything I've achieved, all of the success that I have, has come from our own industry, and so with that, it seems to me there is no place more important for me to be supportive of, than people within our own industry. So there you have it. Long answer to a short question.
No, Jeffrey, you're clearly a pro. You've anticipated already a couple of the questions I wanted to talk to you about. But one thing I want to hone in on is our mission, which you just talked about, and it's that obligation by our industry. We're such a model of taking care of our own. And that mission will hopefully last for another hundreds of years. But I'd like to ask you, so you speak so eloquently, and it's something that hit me from day one of interviewing here and learning about this incredible organization, which is 100% participation. We are months away from our 100th year, as you and I are very aware of, and many people are. And 100% participation 2 years ago meant something different than it does now, and it will always evolve. What do you say to people, Jeffrey, who there are clearly many in the industry who the haves, you talk about that, the haves and the have-nots, and it's that responsibility to support. What about the people, though, who may be struggling, may be uncertain? How do they become a part of that 100% participation?
Well, again, I don't, it's not just what you can give, with money. Certainly, financial support is, critical, and critical to our being able to survive and provide and even grow the impact of our reach, which we're always looking to do. The ambition to do more is something that we live with every day and is driven by, Bob Beitcher and his leadership. We want to do more. We want to do more on the campus. We want to invest in the campus. We want to build the campus. We want to do outreach and, so many other things. It's not just about the people who, are on the campus itself, but it's who the organization can service through social services and financial support. And, more and more people want to live off campus, but need all sorts of support to be able to do that, to be able to, enjoy years at home, not having to be on the campus itself. More and more people we find, have that ambition, that independence, and if we can assist that and prolong that, that's great. But volunteering is another way for people to give back and to contribute. And I believe each and every one of us actually has the capability, has the capacity to, give a helping hand to others. And whether that's in a very, small way each and every day. You know, greeting somebody happily in the morning, you know, helping them, you know, through their daily activities or, you know, whatever chores they might have. And, you know, just being kind and generous. And I think that is just a great quality, which, you know, I think Kirk's line about, you know, learning to give is learning to live. Give isn't just about money. Give is about everything. It's about your time and your, you know, your creativity and, you know, any aspect of it. So I do think we're all in a position where we can, but listen, we are at a moment in time in which we've never had so many people struggling in so many ways. It's very hard, and it's, you know, it's across our country, and you have 50 million people who are food insecure. It's hard to imagine. That means that 50 million people don't know where their next meal is going to come from. You see these food banks, you know, over these last couple of days for Thanksgiving, and you know, it's crushing. You know, you go out about, if you drive around town and you see, you know, more than ever people living, you know, families, and not, you know, all from people all walks of life who just, you know, have lost their shelter and are living on the streets or living out of their cars or out of a tent. And you know, it's very concerning, and it's sad.
Absolutely. You know, we talk about food insecurity, and part of our volunteering at MPTF, which we really hope that these words resonate with you, everyone who's listening. Giving is not just about giving money. Of course, we are embarking on a financial campaign, which should not cloud anything that everyone's doing. And we just, Jeffrey, delivered a bunch of Thanksgiving meals last week. Small thing to do, but we've seen so many volunteers who are struggling step up to volunteer because it feeds their soul as much as the times are hurting them right now. And that was really beautiful to be a part of. And you talk about...
To say for me, I you know, this year is the first year for me in so many years I can't remember in which I was not able to go downtown to the mission and serve, you know, Thanksgiving meals on Wednesday and Thursday. And, you know, I have to say, it just, I really genuinely missed, you know, the connection and the opportunity, and, you know, being able to, you know, just do that something that makes, you know, makes a connection there, and reminds me certainly of just, you know, how in need so many people are. And this year is just crazy, just how it has upended everything. And, you know, I was really sorry. And my kids have come with me every year for years and years and years. You know, it's something that my son and daughter have joined me year in and year out, you know, just feeling like, you know, just giving something of our time.
Giving something, yeah, and we all can. I do think MPTF, just like with, you know, these incredible marquee events that you've created and inspired, and we pivot to virtual, we pivot our volunteering too, and we figure it out. And there are a ton of people in need. And what I've really noticed this year is what you said. They're all walks of life. It does not look and feel like what you think it should look and feel like. Everyone is struggling. And I'm trying to teach my kids as well. So thank you for doing that, and continue the generation of philanthropy with your family, which I see it through both of your children and your granddaughter. Jeffrey, I'm dying to know. I'm going to ask you a personal question. I got to ask you. You're a grandpa, right? You are a grandfather. I don't know if your little one yet speaks, but what are you going to be called? Are you grandpa? Are you papa? What are you?
Papa.
You're papa?
Yeah.
Great. I love it. That's wonderful. So you talk about our next generation, and you have thankfully spoken to our next gen. We have a next gen board. We have a group. I would imagine down the road, probably far down the road, at least we hope, you won't probably pass the torch to like that one Jeffrey Katzenberg. There might be many people. What do you see that's so important about the next generation, which is a different generation, and what they're dealing with, and why it's so important to continue this mission and the role that they're going to play moving forward?
Yeah, I will listen. I think that it's very rewarding, exciting to see that the next generation, people in their 20s and 30s and 40s, 50s, who are getting engaged in activities around the MPTF, that they already are recognizing the importance and the value of what it does. I think these things are great and couldn't be more important. And so the work of this next generation is very, very meaningful. And I think it's a very impressive group of up and comers. And so I'm sure, and there are multiple Jeffrey Katzenbergs who are, going to, be with us and our organization for many years, many decades to come.
So we are turning 100 next year. No, you're aware of that. I know we're all very aware of that. What does that milestone mean to you? Just, of course, looking back that we've existed for 100 years, but also the future and the importance of us turning 100, and the need is still there, and the mission is largely still the same as when Mary Pickford and our founders, we see a need and we fill it. That need is still there.
Yeah.
So talk to us a little bit about the importance of the 100 and really what that means to you beyond just a birthday of 100 years.
Well, it's, I think for any enterprise, any organization, to survive a century is pretty amazing, pretty unique. And so what it does is it reaffirms the values and the importance of it, and its need, and the fact that need has been there through thick and thin, ups and downs, through an analog world into a digital world, from movies from television to movies to home video. And you think of all the different ways in which our industry keeps morphing and changing, how different it is today than 50, 60, 70, 80 years ago, let alone even when I started out at Paramount Pictures in the 70s. It's just a very different business today. And the fact that the MPTF has managed to stay current and relevant through all of these ups and downs and changes shows you how important its mission is. And so I think 100 years is a testament to the durability and the relevance and the importance of the MPTF. I think what I'm hoping for is to use 100 years of the MPTF and 100 years of Hollywood to focus attention, to be able to get that 100% participation that you talked of, that this is an opportunity to sort of ring the bell and to wave the flag and to get people to think about us in ways that maybe they haven't before. And I would love to see every single person in our industry do something around the 100th, whether it's to give us 100 pennies or 100 nickels or 100 dimes or $100 or $100,000, whatever those things are they can do. I would love to see, the 500,000 people that are a part of our extended family in some fashion, shape, or form participate, make a contribution to the next 100 years to the MPTF.
Couldn't have said it better. We will use that moving forward, Jeffrey. I'm so inspired by the work that you do and the heart that you and Marilyn both have in your family. Thank you so much. I knew this time would fly by. I probably have
We're already a half hour. Wow.
Jeffrey, we're already a half hour away. I'm going to have to invite you back.
Yeah, so I just want to say to
Please.
all the residents there, the people listening, watching today, we love you. We care so much for you and for all that you have contributed to our industry and to our art and to our creativity. All of you have a connection in big ways and small ways to who we are. We think about you and we care about you. And your happiness is our happiness. And your health is our health. And your well-being is our well-being. And so, given that this is a moment of Thanksgiving, I give thanks to all of you and wish you health and happiness and a great holiday season coming up. I hope to get back to the campus pretty soon. So as soon as we can get those vaccines out to all of you and make you safe and us safe, we'll be back together. And the good news is it's coming soon. So I know it's been a really, really hard 9 months of incredible isolation and disconnection, but the light is at the end of the tunnel, and we will be back to normal sooner than you can imagine. So hang in there, and again, thank you all, and appreciate you so much.
Jeffrey, thank you so much. That felt like a virtual hug. That was beautiful. Hi, Jen.
Hi.
Bob?
I actually have a resident who used to work with you, Jeffrey, that wanted to call and say hello.
Okay.
And she just hung up. Hold on.
That was the joke.
There you go. No.
That only happened to me.
All right, Christina.
Hi.
There we go.
Hi. Listen, I just wanted to say that people know you because of your success and your name on the wall and things like that, but they don't know that you have always been the person that you are. You've always been kind and generous, and this is going back a long way. I'm much older than you, of course. You were 12 at the time. But you really did so much for people. I've never seen you blow somebody off. I've never seen you just not be kind and courteous to whomever is trying to talk to you, because you never know. I mean, you came to California. I stayed. Jack Valenti got me the job as the New York City Film Commissioner, so I stayed in New York. And you've just always been a very wonderful person, and I wanted people to know here, you're not just a name on the wall. You really do mean what you're saying and what you're doing for us, and we're so grateful, very grateful for Bob Beitcher and for you and for the people that really care about us. So that was my message.
Thank you so much, and happy holidays to you.
Thank you very much, and you as well.
Thanks, Christina.
Thanks, Jeffrey.
Okay, bye-bye. Have a good...
Oh, sorry.
Have a good something. Have a good
Have a good holiday.
Jeffrey, thank you so much for your time.
Thanks much. Be good.